Hello students, today we are going to do third chapter of your first book and name of the chapter is US Hegemony in the World Politics. The chapter is about US hegemony and this era began in the international politics after the collapse of Soviet Union in 1991 which we have done in chapter 2. Now let's begin to this chapter with Aisha, Jabu and Andrei. So let's know what the stories are. The story is about Aisha. She lives in Baghdad. You must be knowing Baghdad. It is in Iraq. She wants to become a doctor but she lost one of her leg in a missile crisis in 2003. This was a war between US and Iraq and she wants to continue her studies. She can pursue her study only when the country becomes stabilized. Next one is Jabu, who lives in South Africa. He wants to become an artist. He is very good in it, but his father wants to pursue an MBA degree. Third is Andrei, who lives in Perth, Australia. He is born on Russian parents, so Russian parents have their own value system and they don't like when Andrei puts on his pair of blue jeans. He wants to wear blue jeans, but his parents become get upset when he does so. These are the examples of daily life, but somewhere they are connected to US hegemony, how that we will study or we see in the chapter. Now I am going to discuss beginning of a new world order. New world order began in 1991 with the collapse of USSR, as you all know, which we have to done in our chapter 2nd. USSR disintegrated in 1991 and all the republics of USSR became independent and there remained only one superpower and that superpower is only United States, which we commonly call US or USA. So now there is only one superpower in the world scene. We see the dominance of one superpower which is called US hegemony. And US hegemony is nothing as but the dominance of the US over all the affairs of world, be in economic, be it military, be it cultural. So the US dominates everything in the world in present day, which is called US hegemony. So the chapter is all about the hegemony. But after the collapse of USSR in 1991, US hegemony began with two things. Here are to be remembered. Number one is some aspects of US hegemony were already there since 1945. We would discussing that in the chapter. And the second thing is about it's not all of sudden all of us realize that we are living in US hegemony in 1991 itself. We are starting it very slowly through the various events that kept on happening right from 1991. So what was those events? Number one among of them is First Gulf War 1990 between Iraq and officially speaking UN forces, but it was all about America. Now see what was Gulf War. This Gulf War broke out in 1990. Iraq is a country in the Gulf region. It invaded Kuwait, which is on its border, and Iraq occupied in Kuwait. So all the Western countries they asked Iraq to pull out from Kuwait. The leader of Iraq, it was ruled by Saddam, at that time was dictator. So he refused to do so. And after that, the matter went to UN and UN mandated liberation of Kuwait. UN sanctioned that Kuwait should be liberated by the UN forces. So a coalition of UN forces was created. So in this manner, when such important decision was taken, George S.W. Bush was the president of USA at that time. He hailed that now emergence of a new world order has emerged, where the protection of democracy is possible, UN has become effective and so on. After that, massive coalition of UN forces were prepared. There was 660,000 troops hailing for 34 countries, but 75% of this UN forces was America, and it was also led by the American general whose name was Norman Schwarzkopf, and they launched the operation to liberate Kuwait from Iraq, and this operation named Operation Desert Storm. Number one among of them is First Gulf War 1990 between Iraq and officially speaking UN forces, but it was all America. Now see what was Gulf War. This Gulf War broke out in 1990. Iraq, a country in the Gulf region, it invaded Kuwait, which is on its border, and Iraq occupied in Kuwait. So all the Western. The next is the Clinton years. Despite winning the first Gulf War, George S.W. Bush lost U.S. presidential election of 1992 to William Jefferson. Bill Clinton of Democratic Party became the president of US. Thus remained the president of US for 8 years. During the Clinton years, it often seemed that the US had withdrawn into its internal affairs and was not fully engaged in the world politics. In foreign policy, the Clinton government tended to focus on soft issues like democracy promotion, climate change, and world trade rather than on the hard politics or hard issue of military power and security. The most important episode occurred in 1999 in response to Yugoslavian actions against the predominantly Albanian population in the province of Kosovo. The air forces of NATO countries led by the US bombarded targets around the Yugoslavia for well over 2 months, forcing the downfall of the government of Slobodan Milosevic and sanctioning of the NATO force in Kosovo. Another significant of military action during the Clinton years was in response to the bombing of UN embassies in Nairobi, Kenya and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania in 1998. These bombings were attributed to Al-Qaeda. Within a few days of this bombing, President Clinton ordered to Operation Infinite Reach, a series of cruise missile strikes on Al-Qaeda terrorist targets in Sudan and Afghanistan, while it was not sanctioned by UN. So this was first Gulf War, and we will study about the second Gulf War in our next